starting a new sculpture and it's going to be a standing sculpture. These require a little bit more engineering to do because to hold the weight of a water-based sculpture upright without an armature inside, it's kind of difficult. This armature that I'm using is basically just a DSLR camera or phone holder that I got from Amazon. I'll put it in the link below, and it doubles as a freestanding armature. Now, I know I don't have an armature inside, but this kind of helps to hold the clay while I sculpt it up, because you'd be surprised when you have two legs, the amount of weight that's on those legs is quite a bit, even for water clay. And water clay is very dense and it weighs quite a bit. So here I am, I'm just putting everything up. I want to create a vertical, which is going to indicate the height of the sculpture. And the model's got quite a dynamic type of pose. So this way, I should be able to figure out my midway. Once I figure out the midway, I'll know the exact height of a sculpture. Also, another thing to keep note is that when you are measuring, make sure you measure the midway of the sculpture, put a mark on the top, and remember that clay will seep down because of gravity. Everything is moving down. Even though it might not seem like it, you have to constantly be adding clay to the top to compensate, because as the clay gets out of the bag, it's quite soft. And it helps to have your clay firm up overnight. So once you do the armature, as I call it, the rough estimate of the measurements, just put the clay away for a bit, let it firm up for a day, and then keep adding the next day. But this is my gesture. I will say that if you have an armature inside, like with a skeleton, these sculptures are much easier to do, and you can pose them, you can exaggerate things a whole lot more. But when you are having this sort of thing, it requires more engineering. Having over there on the right is that her right thigh is going to cross over into an X. It's going to cross over the left. So it's a very difficult pose to do, and I'm very curious to see if I'll be able to pull this off. In the past, I have done standing sculptures, but with freestanding water clay, it's just much harder. This is one of the reasons you want to use drapery as a prop to hold the sculpture up. So that is the pubic synthesis there, and then I'm adding a measurement that's going to come to the top of the head. So from the pubic synthesis, it's going to be my midway, and it's going to go up to almost the top of the head. But this particular pose has got the arms on top, so it's going to be a little bit taller. Also, I'll note that sometimes I have fired sculptures without hollowing out from it being a standing sculpture, because when it's a standing sculpture, it doesn't have that much mass inside, and the only way you can vent it, it's like the hips. That's where a big concentration of clay is, and the rib cage. You don't have a lot to dig out, so you can't really vent it to the floor because you have small little legs in there. I will have to have some sort of prop to hold it up. Could be a tree stump or whatever, but we need to figure that out. I'm also building the rib cage smaller, so if you notice, the bottom is a lot thicker. That's on purpose to hold up the clay while I sculpt, otherwise it would just collapse. And I'm using large tools. The paint scraper, you just get it at any hardware store, and it's one of the best, keeping things nice and geometric. Also, if you notice in the corner, I have my last sculpture that I fired. That is when it was drying, I just left it on the table, and that's not even fired. So after this session, I did fire it. So I'm adding a little bit more mass to the rib cage here because I want to be able to indicate where the breasts are. One important line that you're going to have to do is where the spine is. Now this is going to be important because you want to exaggerate this. With the water clay, it tends to like firm up, get a little bit straighter, so exaggerate the S-curve of the spine right in the midway. This is going to also start showing you what you need to do to mass in. So the two muscles that run along the vertebrae are going to be the lumbar muscles and the erector spinae running from the very bottom to the top. And because she is a female model, it's not going to be as pronounced, but she is very round, and she's in very good shape. So you should be able to see the erector spinae very easily on her. This model is particularly very pale. She's a redhead, so models like that sometimes are a little bit hard to see in photographs, the muscles. So you have to rely on your existing anatomical knowledge to add that. And also remember, keep things geometric. Don't add details. I think that's one of the problems that I first started out, is just adding too many details in the beginning and then not wanting to move things as I progress. You spend a lot of time sculpting a shoulder girdle, for example, and then you realize that it's in the wrong location, and then you don't want to move it. And then you just have a bad sculpture. What I found is that in the past, it's better just to keep things simple and be willing to move things. Don't get fixated on a particular part. Don't get fixated on sculpting an eye and then expanding out. So now I'm adding the head, not because I want to do detail on the head, and also notice that the rib cage is kind of leaning back. That's something that it's going to happen because the clay wants to collapse, so you constantly have to move the rib cage forward. At this point, I'm just adding clay, just roughening up the sculpture, but because the no armature inside, you have to go from the bottom up. One thing that helps is to have the little wooden sticks and put it in the arms, because the arms are so thin that it's going to be moving around, especially as you're sculpting. And make sure that when you adhere the clay to the head, that you really firm it up and stick it to the head. Otherwise, when you fire it, that little fracture is going to show up in the fired piece. The trick to water clay is that every piece of clay that you add onto the existing clay has to completely blend. So a lot of times I've seen students add water clay and they'll just leave it in the surface, and what happens is that when you let it dry, that doesn't really stick. So it separates from the clay that's underneath, that's slightly drier. And that's the breasts. I just want to indicate some of the size, some of the mass, but the rib cage is still very small. I think that's the problem. When you step away from your sculpture, you'll see these mistakes. And that's actually a benefit to doing these videos, other than just keeping a recording of all the sculptures I've done. You can see some of the errors. You should keep a camera and record your sculptures. It's kind of fascinating seeing the sculpture take shape. But from here, I can see the pelvis, I can see the abdominals, I can see the rib cage starting to come up. And eventually we'll add some of the details to the anatomy of the body. Now I'm going to use my paint scraper, which is a serrated paint scraper. It's really like a bowl making type of aluminum foil. You can get it at any ceramics place. And with this, I think I'm going to end the sculpture here. This is going to be a standing sculpture, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you have any suggestions, post up in the comments below. I'm always curious to hear your opinions on it. I've learned a lot from reading your comments. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.